Virgo.
This is your week ahead astrology forecast from Astrology Motivation by Born Without Boundaries. My name is Michelle. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. Please remember to subscribe so that you can always get my videos. What I'm going to do in this video is go through the major planetary transits and aspects that are impacting your natal sun. How do I know where your natal sun is? I don't. You do. I'm depending on you knowing. And if you don't know, you can easily get a free natal chart. Just have your birth date, time, and place ready and Google free natal chart, and you'll come up with a lot of great options that will serve you very well. And then you'll know exactly what degree in Virgo your sun sits on. What I do is I break up Virgo into 3 decans, which are groups of 10 degrees. If your natal sun, you know your natal sun is between 0 and 10 degrees Virgo, you are in the first decan, so Virgo 1s. If your natal sun is between 10 and 20 degrees, you are in the second decan, which is Virgo 2. And if your natal sun is in the last degrees of Virgo, so 20 to 29 degrees Virgo, you are decan 3 or Virgo 3. I'm going to start really broad with what is impacting all of us, and then we'll go to what impacts all Virgos, and then we'll go real specific as to what is impacting your natal sun specifically. So what is impacting all of us is the transit from Pluto into Aquarius. It's not that, Pluto hasn't been in Aquarius for over 200 years, but it's not Pluto's relationship with Aquarius that gets to me. Anytime Pluto moves, it's big. And within a year of its moving, you're going to feel it. Like, this will not be subtle. It will reverberate. We will all know. Last time Pluto moved was the financial collapse of 2009. When Virgo moved in the 30s, from Cancer to Leo, World War II began. Like, the last time Pluto moved into Aquarius, there was all these revolutions, including the American Revolution. You know what I'm saying? It's like Pluto doesn't move lightly. Wherever it's moving, you're going to feel it. And moving into Aquarius is going to impact our social structures, our community, what makes us human and what defines our humanity. So, big philosophical questions for sure. Some of you it's going to impact more than others, but let's get to what's going to impact all of you. Mercury. Always keep track of where Mercury is, because where Mercury is, you kind of are. You're going to be like sort of bathed in that mentality. Mercury is currently in Aries. I knew that. Mercury is currently in Aries, and it is currently interacting with Jupiter and Chiron. In fact, for most of this week, it's going to be conjunct Jupiter and Chiron, and by the end of the week, it will just be conjunct Jupiter, which will be a little bit easier. But know that conjunction between Jupiter and Chiron is expanding and growing your knowledge and wisdom. Because Mercury's involved. Like finally being able to intellectually comprehend the pain and grow from it. And by the time it's just conjunct Jupiter at the end of the week, there's just about the growth. It's not about the suffering anymore. You've actually be able to digest it and grow from it. And maybe even get some opportunities and expand. Being able to talk really quickly, really fast, think really big thoughts. Or Mercury conjunct Jupiter is a lot about learning foreign languages or learning just how to talk to people and understand people that you didn't know how to do that with before. Maybe because of empathy and compassion that grew from a shared trauma. Mercury conjunct Chiron. So, or being talked to in a certain way. There could be some hard to take news in the beginning of this week, certainly, or maybe you're the one that has to deliver it, FYI. But overall, yes, something you can grow from. Mercury is, no. Grand trine. Oh, I understand. Let's get into specifics, because I was just about to go into I read it all down, guy. I do. It's like my magic book. Now, Virgo 1s. So those of you that have a natal sun between 0 and 10 degrees Virgo, your north node, your natal sun is trine to the north node, which is in Taurus, which means it is naturally sextile to the south node. Now, the south node is part of a grand water trine. Your natal suns are in direct opposition to Saturn. And Saturn is part of a grand water trine, which means there could be some frustration, especially with leadership figures, authority figures, laws, rules, regulations, father figures, because they're not moving fast enough or making up their mind, or there's ambiguity around the decision-making process. So understand that and be prepared for it, because it will be frustrating for you. Almost like a perceived laziness that you're not gonna like, and that may be slowing you down. Your natal sun is, your natal sun is quincunx, the current sun. And that means that there's a little bit of frustration there in terms of what people want to see, or what's showing up, or even people's big-headedness or overconfidence. You could be butting heads with that since the sun is in Aries. But that trine with the North Node means finding harmony in the direction that you're headed, and some sort of maturation process that's in your life. Even starting something new, or new interests that used to scare you don't anymore. Really cool. Virgo 2s, those of you whose natal sun is between 10 and 20 degrees, Venus and Uranus are in Taurus, and by Wednesday, Thursday of next week, they will be in perfect conjunction. They're not in perfect conjunction in the beginning of the week, but still they are in the second decan of Taurus, so they are going to be trine to your natal sun. It is a blessing to have Venus trine to your sun. There's happiness with your appearance. This is a good time to change your hair color or look if you want. You might want to try something different, but you're also trine to Uranus, so it would work out for you. You might be surprised in what you're attracted to, but it will make you happy. And in some ways, you may be balancing out your life right now by shifting what you value or what you're attracted to. Oddities could actually be saving the day for you right now. Interesting, right? I love those aspects for you. It's Wednesday, Thursday that Venus and Uranus are in perfect conjunction. So then there's real surprises when it comes to what you're attracted to, or who you find attractive, or maybe what you like about yourself, or trying something new and different, right? Being experimental. That would be the time when you get like the nose ring, or the right, or the piercing in the middle of your chest, something that's weird or different that you never thought you'd be interested in. That could be when. So watch out, because if it's permanent, you might regret it later. FYI. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's cursed. It's not. It's just funky, and you're feeling funky. Then you might not feel funky forever. So don't make any real permanent decisions around that time. Your natal sun is going to be quincunx, the Mercury, Jupiter, Chiron conjunction, which means almost being irritated by lessons that you have to learn, or having to digest a specific level of pain and suffering to have learned them. So there's a little bit of bitterness there, or being acted upon by somebody who's bitter because they're swallowing a jagged little pill and having to deal with that attitude. Especially Monday, Tuesday, I wrote down, because Mercury and Jupiter are in perfect conjunction. Then by Wednesday, they are in perfect conjunction. So then could be a time of rapid growth, or rapid talking and rapid communication, and a lot of information coming at you all at once, whether it's work or home, wherever it is, it could hit you really hard, really fast, like too much information too quickly. FYI. Virgo 3s. For you guys, it is you that is in direct opposition to where Pluto is. No. Direct opposition to Neptune. You have been in direct opposition to Neptune this whole time. So it's nothing new. No big deal. Fine. But Virgo 3s, you will be in a natural trine to where Pluto is, because it was at the end of Capricorn. So those of you at the very end of Virgo season, like right before, like Libra cusp, your natal sun is trine to Pluto, and it's just moved into Aquarius, and that huge change, and whatever Pluto wrecks as it moves into Aquarius, it will actually create harmony in your life. and somehow work out helpful for you. And that will happen over the next year or so. So it's not like a short-term thing that'll happen quickly. Another thing that you're going to be kind of blessed with is on a sextile to the moon in Leo on Thursday. And that's big because the moon in Leo is going to create a grand square in the sky between the nodes and a direct opposition to Pluto. So this is a very challenging day. So we're kind of time stops, and the challenge is to change and grow and mature. This will actually open up opportunities for you. You know, especially in terms of change of leadership or change in the way things are done. This will create a slew of opportunities for you, whether it's in work or that's up to, like, see what houses Leo is and see what house Aquarius is, and you'll start to see where those dynamic shifts will start to happen and opportunities will open up for you. On Thursday, it could be a really tense day, of course, too, while all that's happening, but it won't be tense for you. The tension will actually work for you, and it probably is because you can keep a cool head and organize things through these shifts. You're trying to the midheaven. The midheaven is at the very end now of Taurus, which just means some sort of kind of good stuff happening at work, or feeling really good and confident about what you can do and being willing to apply it to all these new opportunities. Mercury will be in the third decan of Aries by Wednesday of next week, which will make it quincunx to your natal suns, at least those of you born at the very beginning of the third decan. So that's between, like, your natal suns is between, like, say 20 and 24 degrees. So there's a sense of a challenge to your own sign, to your own talents, to your own gifts, frustration. Interesting. What part of your life it's happening in, you would have to check what house is Aries mostly in. What house is that happening in? That will tell you where in your life it's really impacting you. And then what I say of the people who are born at the very, very end of Virgo are going to also be square to Mars all week, because Mars just entered Cancer the first couple of no. Stop. You guys are going to be sextile to Mars. I got that wrong. Yeah. Those born at the very end of Virgo are going to be sextile to whatever happens in the very beginning of Cancer. So you guys are actually sextile to Mars. Let me say this to you, though. Tuesday, Mars is going to conjunct the moon. That is an extremely emotional day for you. But because it's sextile to your natal sun, it could open up opportunity for you. This volatility, like let your anger out, or just an opportunity for you to step in and, like I said, like be cool-minded and sort of show your value, or just a sense of it superpowers you and gives you the energy to take a chance that you might not otherwise have. Like emotionally, it just might be you're overpowered, so you say something you normally wouldn't say, or you take a chance you normally wouldn't take a chance. So that day in particular, yeah, I want to make sure I got that right, though. I don't know why I wrote down a square, because it's not square, it's sextile. Those of you born at the very, very end of Virgo, though, those would be like I said, Libra cuspers. So please do leave your comments below. Let me know how all this energy is impacting you and what you feel about it. Please do come over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot for your weekly tarot card reading. Make sure you're subscribed here. That way you can participate in the live chats that I have over here. And I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye.